Alright, everybody. Welcome to yet another CPL Season 6 cast. I'll be your host today. My name is Cold Warp Gates. Before we get into this match between SKT4 and Team IKEA Builders, I would like to thank the CPL admins once again, especially State Zero for getting me these replays and Nebland for making the announcement, which was completely 100% correct and accurate. And with that being said, let's get right into game one. Alright, in the bottom left of Neo Silpha, we have the Teal Zerg, Y Scion, or Wyvern Scion, or whatever his name is supposed to be here. And in the bottom right, in the navy blue, it's the Protoss player Blizzardo, who apparently was playing at about 8 p.m. when this match happened. Alright, so Sylphid on this map. Everybody kind of complains about the Protoss walls, or Sylphid on this map, PVZ on this map rather. Everyone complains about the Protoss walls. I feel like the arrangement of the buildings isn't that bad for Protoss, but especially in this spawn, I can tell you from personal experience, very recently, there's like a big arc here that a contain can take, and like a very tiny area for you to squeeze out of. And it kind of happens on every map, but it just feels extra bad on this one. So we'll have to see what our players go for here. Oh, but looks like the natural really isn't going to come into play for Protoss because we have a pylon in the middle of the map, and I forgot you were even able to do this. I thought this part was blocked. So we are going to see, I assume, 2 gates in the middle. It looks like going to be 2 gates on 9 in the middle. But we have a 9 pull speed or something along those lines from Y Scion. So it looks like both players getting a little bit cheesy here. Okay, I don't know if 9 pull speed counts as cheese, but it's certainly early aggression. And probably, I mean, I feel like if 9 pull speed doesn't hold this, then Zerg deserves the balance one. You know, just in theory anyway. So we'll see how this goes. I don't know how long it'll take for it to get scouted. I don't imagine this drone is going to check the middle. I mean, if I was Zerg, I wouldn't even know that you could build in the middle of this map. But yeah, I wonder if the drone will go all the way to the main, or if it'll... Okay, well, I mean, he must at this point, because this Overlord will see there's nothing in the main. This drone's going to get very alarmed. Looks like Y Scion farmed just the gas they needed to get speed. These 6 speedlings, or about to be speedlings, are they have killed the scouting probe, which actually can be significant in these fights, because having a probe or 2 with your early wave of zealots makes them... It's basically like a jank +1 attack upgrade. But it looks like the zealot and the lings have just ran right by each other. And this is why, I mean, this is making me scared for Zerg, or for a Protoss, because Zerg can make some lings at home. They can pull some drones, but the gateways are not in the Protoss main. It's gonna be just probes against 6 lings. That's pretty brutal. It's gonna be hard for Protoss to get an equivalent amount of damage here. Yeah, it looks like all the probes are going to leave, and we're going to see a Blizzardo really commit to trying to end the game with these zealots, but we already have a creep colony in a very drone drillable location. We have more links coming out of the main. We have all... I guess there's not that many drones. There's only 8 drones alive. But I think it's going to be more than enough for Y Scion to hold this up. Yeah, that song finished. I mean, we have 2 zealots and like 5 probes coming. I don't think they can take out this sunk, especially with these 2 legs. And there you go. We got the GG Wep from Blizzardo. That was a very quick game 1. Let's get into game number 2, whenever this replay actually ends. All right. You know, we've said it before a few times that we don't see a lot of cheese in the CPL. So I'm just gonna hit it to Lizardo for having the courage to do a build like that. Because even if it did lose, like, it takes a lot of commitment. Like, it takes a lot of, like, acceptance that not everything is in your control, you know? So I think that that's commendable. I think that's an important part of playing StarCraft. But let's get into game 2 and see what we see here. Let's get in the game. Alright, we're on Shakura's Temple in the bottom right once again in the Teal Zerg. It's Y Scion. Or, you know what? The rest of his name is appropriate. He's all in Y Scion, so maybe he's gonna all in every game. His 9 full speed kind of stuff. In the top right, getting a bad luck of the build order rock paper scissors in the first game. It's the white Protoss Lizardo. Now this map, I'm pretty sure you can't build in the middle. So, probably not going to see 9-9 here. Looks like we have some players talking about their experience with Lizardo and his aggressive builds in the chat. So it's good to have that kind of insider information. Looks like we'll have a more standard build here. Probably gateway first, or no, alright, I should, you know, we said this before, wait a few seconds before you make a call, because the player will always prove you wrong. So if the pro is scouting before building a building, it's almost certainly going to be a forge first. So this is another map where the walls are a little bit weird, but once you know them, they aren't that bad. I think it's like forge here and gateway here, right? And that ends up being very standard. Looks like I have to, just a bit further back, forge here and the gateway here. I think you do. I don't know, whatever. Look, full disclosure, I have 2 monitors, and I have the Liquipedia pages for each map up on the second monitor, and I look up the Protoss walls when I play on a map I don't know. Let's see, in this game, this is an overpull, right? Yeah, I should be paying attention to this. Looks like another more standard build from Y Scion this time. What's this drone? I'm curious why this drone went out and then came back. I guess it was just like the bait in case the probe came. So the probe will walk by. That's those nice little tricks that players can do if they really don't want to deal with having their natural hatchery blocked. It's like this Overlord, which technically scouted the wrong direction, is going to get into the main of Lizardo, get a lot of intel. And it looks like Lizardo, given that he scouted his opponent last, has been forced to do the safest variant of this, where you get the cannon before the Nexus. I actually don't know how the timings work on this map, if you can get away with going Nexus before cannon, like, you know, like what builds you can do that. So maybe he would be required to do that. I think like the horizontal spawns are very close, so I think you can't do that as Protoss here. So this, yeah, I do think that you just want this forge to be down here. That way the gap between the forge and gateway is tight, and you only have to block like this little area here, because this tiny little rock does block units. So now I hope Lizardo is aware of that. I hope we at least have like a zealot here at some point, otherwise it could be very sad. Looks like, wow, we have the 4-Lings arc here on the main ramp after killing that scouting probe. So Y Scion is really committed to not letting this follow-up scout in the main, and really, as a Protoss player, that's so painful. It really sucks. This is one of the things that I like about Gate, like Gate First. If you are aggressive with some of your early zealots, you can just force your way up that ramp, or force them to pull the link somewhere so you can sneak a probe or even a zealot into the main and get so much intel. Looks like the probe smartly is able to find the third base, which is valuable info, but will not be able to see the hatchery, the Hydralis Den in the main. This is the now slightly less popular but still infamous 3-hatch Hydra build. It looks like we have coming up. for Y-Scion. And as much as I talked about this wall before, this placement is going to be better against 3 Hatch Hydra, just because the Forge will be less exposed. So maybe that was why Flizardo did that. Maybe he knows something that I don't. We'll be able to have a nice arc of cannons here behind it if he does scout it out. Looks like he sent a Zealot trying to commit to going into the main. Yeah, exactly. Oh, but these Lings quickly block it. Very sad. Doesn't even get some attacks off. So not able to confirm what we have here from the Zerg player, but we do have a Stargate. Should be able to get that first Corsair in there. Lings coming across the map, ready to deny more scouting as close to the Protoss base as they can. Looks like we have Hydras starting to morph, so there could be a very narrow window of time that Flizardo has to build cannons. Looks like he's wisely deciding to play it safe. Get a second one at least. We can even see more. This is kind of interesting. I've never seen someone build the Citadel in the natural like this. I don't know if it's just where he had pylon space available or there's some other secret that I don't know about. So this Corsair is going to be his last chance to scout out the Hydras, but they're already crossing the map, and the Corsair's not going to go over their path here. So it might get to the main and like see some more Hydras pop, but there's already going to be 7 Hydras outside the Protoss base. And 2 cannons really isn't going to cut it if the Zerg goes for it. I mean, at the very least, Zerg is going to get these buildings for free, because these cannons do not protect these buildings, even their, how do you call this? It's just a further back a placement. And I feel like, yeah, once this gateway is down, I mean, there's a lot of room here. Let's see if the Zerg can do it. Trying to snipe this cannon. Look how fast I went down. That's ridiculous. A quick pull on the probes. And these 3 Zealots do manage to clean up the Hydras for now, but the reinforcements show up, and this is really scary for Protoss. These Zealots get sniped down immediately. Now it's just probes with Hydras. You never want this to happen. So many probes going down. So much sadness. We only have 1 cannon up and 4 more trying to come in. Oh my god, more probes getting slaughtered. This is terrible pathing. So it looks like Zerg has decided to play it safe from here. Just kill this Forge. Deny the +1, doesn't have to dive on these cannons at all. I mean, this is so much damage done. So many probes died, all the Zealots are dead. The first gateway is dead. Fortunately, there's 2 more in the unnatural here. And these 5 cannons forced up by Protoss going to slow down the building of gateways that could threaten Zerg. So that was a very well executed 3 Hatch Hydra build here, and now we see that the Zerg is just going back into macro, getting more hatcheries, getting that lair. Wisely has brought some Overlords out here to the front, so this DT should get caught. Well, alright, as I say that, the Overlords are just, they're not laid out perfectly, so this DT does get out, and this could be big, because Zerg just wants to make drones now for a long time to make up for all these Hydras they built. And if they think that they've contained the Protoss, they won't make any more, right? So we have like 2 here, but a DT can kill quite a few drones before 2 Hydras kill it. So if this DT goes to the 3rd base, which he did scout earlier, okay, here we go. He turns it around. Oh, it looks like a second DT got caught and drew the attention of these Hydras and the single drone hanging out. And it makes it out. What a ninja. And he gets the drone kill. What a hero. Oh, there's 2 undefended Overlords here now. This 1 DT is going to be unopposed in this natural. Fortunately for Y-Scion, he does react very quickly. But the DT gets 4 drone kills, which is nothing to sneeze at. Oh, and the Corsair gets an Overlord kill and escapes. So honestly, I think that was a very nice play from Flizardo. I don't think it totally makes up for all the damage that he took, but this is the kind of stuff that he's going to need to do to come back in the game. Looks like this Corsair will go down, which is very sad. That scouting is going to be so critical. Let's see what kind of lair tech we see from the Zerg. It looks like it's going to be Overlord or Lurkers. I thought it was a drop maybe, but it's not. That could be a very powerful play, given that we just had the Corsair die, and there's still an Overlord in the main of Protoss. What is this? Hey, here we go. We have a second Corsair coming to... I'll clear that out. Looks like that Forge the second Forge is done, but no upgrade has been started, and that's going to hurt Protoss a lot as the game goes on. I remember when 3-Hatch Hydra was really popular, people were saying that you should just make 2 Forges when yours get sniped, so you get the +1 attack and armor to try to, like, recover some of that tempo. But it's just now starting at like 9 minutes and 50 seconds. I mean, I think we're going to see that, and these Zerg upgrades are going to start coming up too, so there's going to be basically equivalent on upgrades for the rest of the game. That's a really hard position for Protoss to get to. And then we have a sizable amount of Hydras. They can start to morph Lurkers as soon as they want, basically. I think the upgrade is done. A decent amount of gas is banked up. Yeah, here we go. And again, let me tell you from personal experience, very, very recently, this really, really sucks for a Protoss player. Lurker contains are so hard to break. The natural choke here is pretty wide, and of course all the buildings here died earlier, so goons wouldn't have too hard of a time trying to poke out here, assisted by storms. Ooh, a nice storm, getting a few Hydras, but then, oh no, these Zealots! No! And guys, they're just so dumb. Like, these Zealots had to be like hugging the cannons and be on hold position, but now, oh no. God, this is so miserable. This really sucks for Protoss. I hate being in this position. We do have to see goons. We have a few started. I don't think range is done. I could have just missed it. This observatory is noticeably late. I think you want to have the first observer out by 10 minutes ish. And this, this is going to give Zerg more time to reinforce this, time to get this 4th base up, time to get more drones, and like 12 minutes is really the time when Protoss wants to get their 3rd base going. But even if Lizardo does break out of this, it's gonna be like 14 or 15 minute a marker in the game, and it's like Protoss like mining out of their main. Oh my god, this is so obnoxious. Just running up here. Lizardo are probably macroing or something and not looking at these Templar too closely, and that's gonna happen again. Oh my god. So many Templar going down. Absolute misery. This is Protoss hell. This is what we get for PvT, I guess. And look at this. I really appreciate these Overlords all over the map. And not even just Overlords, some Hydras too. Looking at every possible path for a drop. Looking at every possible location for a hidden base. Okay, I mean, there's a couple that he had scouted, but you know what I mean? Really showing what you do when you're ahead. You try to find all the ways that you could lose the game and eliminate them like this. This is really smart play from Sion. Alright, looks like even more dives. Oh, the storm hitting more Zealots than it does Hydras. At least he gets an Overlord with the cannons. We've had a decent amount of goons getting pulled up here, but you really need the backup of those Templar. I mean, think of how many hypothetical storms could have come out. Oh, you don't want the Zealots from around here. You just want the goons to slowly poke forward, but I understand Lizardo's frustration. Doing a decent job now, actually. Looks like there weren't as many Hydras still alive as I thought, but the Observer is too far forward, probably in the same group as the goons. Now there's no detection here to kill these Lurkers. Just miserable. Unfortunately, we did have a preemptive second Observer here. Even Scourge was brutal. But it actually seems like Lizardo has done a decent job eventually of getting out of here. Oh, but I don't... Oh, okay. All the Templar are dead, and that kind of takes away any real aggressive potential. So Lizardo really can't push anywhere with this. He might be able to secure a 3rd location. Yeah, it looks like that's what we're going to see. But without Templar, it's going to be hard to deal with this resupply of Hydras. So I'm a little bit scared here. Alright, we do have the 3rd base going up 2 minutes later than the ideal timing, but honestly, given that there was a very strong Lurker contain, actually not that bad. Unfortunately, there's still a little bit of juice in these minerals, at least enough to buy time for that third hatchery, for that third nexus to come up. We will probably have to see a fast fourth come up within a few minutes as well to make up for this natural, which is just about like like a third of its full capacity left. We have some armies moving around the map, and the third here is undefended. It's going to get canceled. Yeah, immediately all those buildings get canceled. Can Felizardo punish this? Can he sandwich this ball of Hydras? No, it looks like he's going to go for a trade here, and I don't like this because, again, without the Templar, it's so hard to be aggressive versus Zerg. Look at this obnoxious SimCity. We're going to have Hydras pop out here. We're going to have this big ball come in and sandwich the Protoss. And I feel like this might be the end of the Protoss dream, because we're going to see that main mine out, and Natural's not too long after that. And, yeah, this is the stuff of my nightmares. But when I have a game like this, I just don't play for a few hours. I take a break. This really sucks. But excellent play from Ysciam in both games, demonstrating a solid grasp of the fundamentals and how to play the builds that he picked. I heard a DT killing something somewhere. Okay, here we go. But sadly, there is an Overlord and Sun here, so it can't even get a little bit of glory. And now it's going to be so hard for Protoss to get a third or remake their army or be effective in this game when they mine out in their main. Very sad. As we do see two forges now. Actually, and the upgrades they did get the 2-1. It's managed to reclaim that upgrade lead just a little bit for a Zerg. But, I mean, look at this remade army. This is not enough to deal with a 4-base Zerg. Yeah, look at this. All these Hydras conga lining in. Oh, alright. I mean, if they're split up and we see some decent storms with no dodging, I mean, that's a great trade for a Felizardo for now. Gotta be screwed there just to kill observers. That's just rude, man. There's not even lurkers anymore. In the meantime, looks like defilers are on the board now. That consume upgrade is almost done. That's a pretty fast hive for a Zerg player to get, like, before the Protoss even has their third base up. Like, these Zealots are trying to just get some damage done at the fourth base. Undefended for now, but we do have some reinforcements here. Another observer dies. So, gonna get a few drone kills, but still behind the economy of Zerg. Especially with that main mined out. And some reinforcements gonna try to help take out this fourth base. Nice storm on the drones. Looks like he might get this base after all. So, in the last, like, 4 minutes, Felizardo has gotten some excellent trades here, but the economy's too far behind. Wow, a nice storm all over all these lurkers, but also his own Archon, and there's no observers left, so it looks like after the fourth base goes down, the attack will be cleaned up. Trying to get a third base up here, defended by a Templar and a Zealot. Oh god, I hate this. There's so many maps like this now where this happens. Oh my god, it's so dumb. You have to, like, avoid building gateways in, like, this part of your base, or probes get stuck. It's terrible. Excuse me, taking a sip of my water right there. Yeah, as you can see on the minimap, we have a huge wave of Zerg units here trying to shut down this third, trying to close out any chance of a Protoss comeback in this game. It's a bunch of lurkers. Some storms could clean them up, but no goons to finish the job here. I think we probably have French Rental done on these links. Some really nice storms all over these fun Zerg units. But is it good enough? Oh my god, that last spine took out like 4 Zealots. Oh no, a double storm on the single Hydra. No cannons here yet. Blur just can't afford it. Oh my god, a Dark Swarm. Absolutely brutal. There you go. Lizardo with the banner, GG, and the well played. And Wysign takes a very convincing 2-0. Taking the first series for SKT4. Alright, let's get into series number 2. Alright, one moment everybody. Okay, let's do it. Let's get to series number 2. We have Abernhoki versus Aggie. Alright, in the these colors. In the top middle, we have the purple Protoss, Abernhoki, and in the bottom left, the magenta Zerg, IRK's Aggie. They didn't host in the right game mode. That's okay. That's okay. But we can deal with it. So I've said it before. Aggie is based. Well, last season was my CPL bully. We played we played twice. There were 6 games, and in 3 of those games, he proxy hatchered me, and they all worked. It was the point where I knew he was gonna do it. I built cannons in my main. I scouted it, and he still won. So he's like one of the nicest people I've met in Starcraft, and I still think he's a bastard because he did that to me. We'll see what he does in this game. He's known for lots of shenanigans. See if Abernhoki is prepared for it. Looks like we're going to see a gateway on 10, most likely, given that this probe is mining. I've been told that this is the most meta way to play the matchup now for Protoss. Get that gateway on 10, be mostly passive with the first couple of results that you get from the gateway. You know, it's not like super committed to doing damage, and you end up with a nice tech and eco lead if the Zerg doesn't play it perfectly. Oh, never mind. Well, why do I do that? Cast or curse, man. Cast or curse. I talk about gateway, and the forge comes up. Oh, for the record, it's not shade that I'm throwing on Aggie. It's just salt. Like, he's clearly like a good player. I'm just like, oh my god, I cannot believe that he did that to me. Meantime, it looks like a hatchery first from Aggie, which technically is better against gateway first than overpull is. I'm not sure how Forge Expand might end up with it, but you definitely don't want to get the cannon before Nexus against hatchery first. But you kind of have to if you don't scout them in time to make that call, especially on a map like Silver where the rush distance is not that long. So definitely a build order advantage for Aggie so far in this game. Abernhoki gonna feel a little bit sad, knowing that he could have got this Nexus well before this cannon. Certainly not an unplayable position for Protoss. Scouting probe still alive in the main, given these late legs. See if Abernhoki can keep it alive, keep it in the main, so he won't get denied the critical tech scouting like we saw Lizardo suffer in the previous series. And it's been so long since I actually did Forge Expand. I forgot all the timings for things, but this looks about right. Yeah, okay, here we go. Two links popping out, enough to force this probe to run around, but not enough to catch it just yet. Waiting to see what we see from Aggie. I didn't even notice this, so we do have this third hatchery at the empty natural. It could mean that Aggie is going to go for that kind of larva fast 4-base turtle style that was really popular last year-ish. Ooh, we have a 4th hatchery. So, yeah, we're not going to see like a 3-hatch Hydra bust, but we are going to see a lot of Hydras in the mid-game, I would guess, with this 4th hatch before gas going down, or before layer, at the very least. This is a build that's becoming more popular. You just get a ton of Hydras, a ton of drones, and it can be really hard to deal with as Protoss. First Zealot. He's going to cross the map. It looks like it might be headed straight for that 3rd. It looks like Abenhoki might have figured it out. Oh, and I made a call, and the Zealot stopped. Nice. But Abenhoki is going to know that there's a 3rd base somewhere on the map. This is not a bad place to guess, but one of the things that I think distinguishes this map, and one of my favorite things about this map, is you have so many options for where to take the 3rd. And most of them are viable in most matchups. Like, you can take this one, which is really close, but it has half the resources, or 2/3, or whatever it is. You can take this one, which is, you know, far away, and it's like about as far as you could get from Zerg, but there's only minerals. You can take this high ground one, which is kind of far away from your base, but it's very defensible. Or, you know, Zerg can take the opposing natural and like force Protoss to commit to pushing one of 2 very distant locations. So I guess the point of that rant was that it actually is hard to guess where this 3rd is going to be, even if you know that Zerg has a 3rd, because really it could be at almost any base. Like, maybe not this one or this one, but it is Aggie we're talking about, so it literally could be one of those bases. But actually, as much as I've been talking about Aggie's wild side, this is a very normal, standard game from him. And as Artosis says, the cheesiest thing that a cheeser can do is play standard. Is this the first Corsair? That actually seems kind of late, right? Isn't that like a late timing for they come out? I don't know. I've completely lost my sense of how Forge Expand works. Honestly, I just do Gateway Expand or other shenanigans. Spoilers, I guess, if you're playing against me. Some early Hydras being annoying. The Zealots will probably have to go hide behind the hide in the mineral line. Now this gateway, so this gateway was placed up a hex, and that forces these cannons to be up, and that means you can't have 2 layers of cannons here. I don't know if it would matter if you didn't see a 3-hatch Hydra bust, but it could get annoying. It's going to make it a little bit harder to squeeze cannons in here, especially when like goons want to come through and they have to go through this little tower defense maze here. And you know, it can be really hard to break out from a contain on this map, because like look at how narrow the choke is right now. Like, even if you kill this gateway, you have only this much space. And Zerg can occupy an arc like this with Hydras or Lurkers or whatever the hell they want. That's really miserable. So I see like some really clutch storms and some really, really tight control from Abenhoki to break out of this contain without taking too much damage here. Aggie losing 1 Hydra, oh, maybe 2 Hydras to this cannon. Done. Okay, +1 is done. No second upgrade started. Yeah, I would like to see that. Maybe at a backup forge in the main. The DT does get denied before the gateway can finish. Meantime, the lair just now started. So Aggie's sticking on hatchery tag for a long time. There we go. Hydra's coming in, diving on cannons. This is pretty scary. We only have a handful of Zealots. No Storm out yet. No DT waiting there to defend. Looks like these Zealots are actually doing really well. Some nice micro with that +1 attack, getting so much damage on these Hydra. I cannot believe that was like twice. That looked like 2 Hydras for every 1 Zealot. And that was a great bust out from Abenhoki. And if he can keep macroing, let's see, a few more gateways by now. But if he can keep Ackroyd, he can keep Zerg from rebuilding that contain and help him get to a nice healthy mid game with a third base. So what to see here? Templar not quite ready for Storm just yet. It's only one Templar. Yeah, you definitely want to see at least 2, like 3 or 4 is a good number to have. Fortunately, we have rebuilt these cans. We're also killing another one because it's so tight in this tiny little natural. Ooh, a nice Storm. Some Zealots dying for nothing. For now, it looks like Aggie might be able to retake this contain. Super depressing. Poor Protoss. Unfortunately, with this late layer, we're not going to see a really fast lurker contain. We just see the aspect research starting now. I know there was a Corsair. Did it die? Is it flying around somewhere that I didn't see? The colors that made it map are not great. If Evan Hokie is aware of that timing, he'll know that he's not completely screwed yet. We do have a quick 4th base coming up for Aggies. So not quite as fast as you could have taken with that like larva turtle style, but still putting on a lot of indirect pressure on the Protoss by having that a 4th base up. Like 3 to 4 bases, or 3 Protoss bases versus 4 Zerg bases is fine for the Protoss, but 2 versus 4 is very, very uncomfortable. Alright, so we have more gateways coming up. Going to 7. Oh, and the Robo is just now starting? Okay, so it is going to be late for lurkers. If Aggie makes a bunch, it looks like he's just diving in with these Hydras once again. And there's only 1 Templar here. Never mind, there's 3 Templar here that I just couldn't see because I wasn't, because I'm blind. But they each only have like 1 Storm on them, so it's going to require very clutch placement from Evan Hokie. But we're okay. So we're just seeing a handful of lurkers, so not enough to completely delete Zealots from the map just yet. But we only see Zealots coming out, so I really feel like Evan Hokie has no suspicion that there are lurkers. Oh, okay, so we do have range, but we need to see goons. And this 8th gateway should have been down earlier. I think once you know that the Zerg wants to contain you, you should just go up to 8 gates as Protoss, because like you really aren't going to be able to get that quick third off of 6 gates. Of course, I say that now, but I constantly screw that up in game. And then we have more and more lurkers being added. Although, where are these? Okay, the Hydras are showing up. It's actually not a lot of units. Aggie's been going hard on the drones, getting a ton of tech, starting to get upgrades. So if we see like a wave of goons come out of here, there's not that many goons. With an observer, of course. It shouldn't be too hard for Evan Hokie to bust out. I'm just worried that there aren't enough goons. 6 goons is not a huge number. We have any sign of a hive tech? Oh, we do. We do have the Queen's Nest coming up. So Aggie getting that 4th base online. Hopefully going to start mining that gas, getting more hatcheries. Yeah, this is really scary. If I don't think doesn't make something big happen soon, Aggie's just going to roll over his opponent with superior tech and economy. And finally an observer gets out here. Can these goons get some good snipes on these lurkers? Running out here, but bringing his whole army. Some Zealots are taking a lot of hits so far. Trying to get a superior angle. Looks like he's just committing to going around the lurkers. If these Hydras get snipes, they do get 1, 2, and all 3 of the Templar, but all the Hydras go down to pay for it. Now these lurkers are unprotected. A probe gives his life for the cause. A bunch of links here idled, forgotten by Aggie. Numbers observed. Okay, there it is. Alright, so a little bit rough, but Evan Hokie has busted out. He needs to put down a 3rd, and he needs to do damage. Like, you can't get away with just doing 1 at this point. Oh god, there's lings in... Oh no. Oh no, with her drop? That's why the Lings are here. Oh my, they weren't forgotten by Aggie at all. Oh my god, this is so early for a Ling drop. Oh, this is so brutal. Oh my god, it's so miserable. Like, how do you come back from this as Protoss? It'll take you so long to rebuild the gateways. They'll give Zerg so much time. It looks like, in the meantime, while I was crying about Lings, Ivanhoe has broken the third base, is killing drones at the fourth base, but I think these reinforcements from Aggie are going to be harder for him to deal with. Let's see how this goes. Looks like Lurkers are getting on top of the goons. Zealots are cleaning up these Hydras. We have some Lings spawning at the fourth base to kill these Zealots, but not before they kill a bunch of drones. And Aggie, I think, lost like around 20 drones. So I'm actually not sure. I guess when I look at the numbers, I guess Protoss came out ahead. I'm really surprised by that. But it seems to be the case for now. I think that these units have to run. It might be too late for them to run, but we have this third base started. The lane drop was mostly defended, and Protoss has double the worker count of Zerg. Unfortunately, they only have 2 bases, one of I guess both of which are about to mine out. So Protoss really need to take a fourth pretty fast to take advantage of that worker lead. But are they even going to have time? There's so many Lings coming here. We have just a handful of Goons and Zealots, no Archons, no Reavers, no Storm that you use normally to deal with all these Lings. It looks like there were enough Zealots to throw into the Meat Grinder with this +2 upgrade, dealing with the +1 armor of the Zerg, but oh my god. The drop has leveled up. This is like a defense level where, you know, just bigger and bigger waves of stuff come out. This one Corsair is not enough to shoot down these Overlords. And this time it's Lurkers. We have a couple of cannons, but they are stacked, so the Lurkers can snipe them. Oh my god, this is so miserable. God, we're seeing some abused Protosses here tonight. I'm really gonna have to have some words with State Zero for giving me these replays. You know, making me suffer through this. I hear Lurkers. Okay, there we go. The one Lurker. I thought we had Lurkers killing probes. The third base is up, but doesn't even matter. The main is getting cleaned up. Oh my god, these Lurkers just slaughtering these units as they get through these narrow chokes between gateways. God, it's 6 Lurkers up. I don't think that as each unit rallies from the gateway, I don't know if we'll clean this up. This Archon is doing its best to prove me wrong. Are you serious? We have like an Archon and like 4 Zealots kill 6 Lurkers? Are you? Wow. All right. The cast Lurkers is real, folks. In the meantime, a million Lings kill the mineral only third of the Protoss player, and look at how many probes there are. There's like 60 probes right here. Maybe enough to just fight these Lings straight out, but there's not that many resources left. There's only like 300 minerals left, and Amoki GG's with the exclamation point. And Aggie surprisingly wins a very standard, very well macroed game 1. Alright, the way that I said that makes it sound like I think he's bad at macro, which is not the case. What I'm trying to say is that he didn't do any shenanigans. Those drops were very spicy, but at that timing, that's completely, like, you know, when you're on 4 bases and you have hype tech, yeah, it's completely normal time to do a drop. It's not like he like rushed for that. Now that I've justified my own rambling, let's get into game 2 back on Shakura's Temple. Alright, this time in the pink Protoss in the bottom left, getting a bit smacked around by Aggie in the mid to late game is the Protoss player, Ivanhoe. And in the top left, in the teal Zerg, repping his clan IRK, and winning a very solid ZVP in game 1, it's Aggie. So, Shakura's Plateau, we saw last game, or last series, the Zerg player went for a 3 hatch Hydra. And into a contain, like we saw in the last game as well. See if it develops into that again. Abinogi carefully considering where to put this pylon. Alright, I think it's fine, right? I think there's a gateway, or gateway forge, something like that, Probably, yeah. 2 zealots there? Yeah, that seems good. Alright, so normally when a probe goes to mine before building the building, it's going to be a gateway on 10. Last game we saw Abinogi go for the forge, so I'm not going to make... I'm not going to say what it is. I'm just going to talk about the past, about things that I know happened. In the meantime, is it going to be another hatchery first? For Aggie, yeah, the time for overpool has passed. Aggie committing to doing that macro opening, and we do have a gateway on 10. Now, I know that if you are aggressive with the gateway first, that hatchery first is actually pretty good against that, because you get the larva in time to swarm the zealots. But if you hang back with your gateway, if you play defensively, I'm actually not sure how that works out. So hopefully we'll get a little clinic on that in this game. Sadly for Abinogi, it looks like he's going to scout his opponent last. Major feels bad. We don't even see a drone scout from Aggie yet. Okay, right when I say that, the drone comes out. Nice. That could be for the 3rd, I guess. We'll find out. I'd first sell it. Oh, what? Excuse me? Alright, what do we see here? I really hope that Abinogi isn't going to proxy Spectre Gateways, assuming that his opponent is here. Is this a ninja base? Is he going to build Nexus here? What? I've never seen something like this. Like, if you're going to proxy from the start. Let's see, the drone is going to see 1 gateway. Not really anything out of order here yet. Maybe he could detect that the 3rd pylon is late. Oh my god. What is this? We have 2 extra gateways, but oh no, Abinogi is not aware. This is not where the Zerg is. So these gateways, while hidden, are really not any closer, and he cancels them. Wow. That is a feels bad moment. But, I mean, I guess if you cancel 2 of them... Oh god, I don't want to do math. You lose a quarter of 300 minerals. So, is that bad to pay for the chance of it memeing on your opponent with the gateway first into more gateways build? I don't know. Alright, looks like the zealot, is he meant to go for the 3rd? Okay, no, he's just rallied here. There will be enough lings to deal with this zealot, not if they go to the Protoss base. So this zealot, this really funny timing, actually could have a chance to do some damage in the main or natural of Zerg. And meanwhile, back home, is Protoss going to be able to stop this? Oh no. I think he thinks this is tight. I am pretty certain this is not tight. But maybe we're about to... Does this part make it tight? I don't know. I'm really worried. I'm scared. Looks like Aggie is not forcing the issue. 2 zealots and a probe, even without the choke, should do fine against 5 lings anyway. Meanwhile, this zealot finally starts to move in. There's only drones here back home for Aggie, and that's going to give the zealot plenty of time to run rampant. Already gets 1 kill. Ooh, switches targets at the last minute. The drones shuffling over each other to confuse the Protoss. So we have 1 drone going down. 3 more larvae wasted on lings. So this is a good value for this 1 zealot. And meanwhile, these 2 lings killed this pylon. What do you think Aggie thought when he found this pylon in the middle of the map? Right? Because, like, there wasn't even other buildings there. Like, what? If you're a Zerg and you scout a random corner of the map and find a pylon and nothing else, 5 minutes into the game, what do you think? Like, what? I would be so confused if I saw that. Like, if I saw some gateways there, I'd be like, okay, so he tried to proxy me. But if I saw a pylon, I don't think I would make that jump. In the meantime, what's going on? Did I hear... Oh my god, I didn't even notice this. No, it's not even my game, and he still snuck a hatchery past me. Aggie! Oh my god. Alright, so Aggie has snuck a hatchery in the base. It looks like Evan Hokie caught it like 30 seconds ago. Not quite fast enough to kill the hatchery. We even have a zealot here, but this colony is going to be the real problem. Okay, it looks like he's going to focus on the hatchery. If he can do that, if he can keep more drones from coming... Oh my god, this sucker can hit the natural? Are you serious? Oh my god, what a meme lord Aggie is. Holy shit, that's so terrible for Protoss. We even have more Lings in the base, killing this gas. Not really the most high value target, but I mean, who cares, right? We have a sunken killing probes. Fortunately, I think with 3 zealots, yeah, this sunk is... or should be done for. Come on, dude, you can kill a sunk with 3 zealots, right? I guess there's 2 Lings here, which is done. The 2 probes are gonna make a difference. I don't get confident enough. Right? Okay, please tell me I was right. These probes don't know what to do. They know if they help or not. It's gonna be close. Alright, the zealots barely win. Nice. Oh god. Okay, yeah, so this is not tight. So Aggie, this, you know, he did the memes with the proxy hatch, and then he just won with the regular Link run by. It looks like Gale's not quite over yet, but there's no cannons left. There's nothing to block the ramp. We got the RIP GG, which is really how I feel. And that's Aggie, folks. Like I said, I can't believe I was casting this game and I still didn't see the proxy hatch go down. Just too focused on the 1 zealot killing 1 drone in the Zerg natural. Alright, and that is going to even up the score between SKT4 and Team IKEA Bulldozers. Alright, it's a fast night so far. 2 2-0s. Going into Series 3. Let's do it. Alright, in the bottom left, in the Navy Zerg, it's Xeno Akup. And in the bottom right, in the purple Zerg, it's Camo Daz. So we are going to see a ZVZ here on Sylphid. As for how this map affects this matchup, so we do have the not high ground, which is not quite as good for the defender. In general, though, I feel like don't you usually have an overlord at the ramp? So like you get the vision whether or not there's a ramp. Does it make that much of a difference in ZVZ? I don't know. I'm just a small brain Protoss player. Now, I do have to shout... Oh, wait. Alright. Ignore my stuff. We have a 4-pool from Xenocoop. I've even heard of people doing this in this matchup. I feel like a regular 9-pool should be able to hold it off, question mark. We'll see what Camo Daz goes for. God, I can't believe this. A 4-pool. Madness. Someone does not want to play ZVZ. What are we going to see from Camo Daz? Looks like he's saving up for a pool. Alright, we have a 9-pool. Anything earlier than a 9-pool would be some kind of cheese build, so I assume that 9-pool stops a 4-pool with some drone micro. We'll find out. Now, what I really want to see is a proxy creep colony to get a sunk. And we do have a drone scouting, so maybe that's what this is for. I remember in Starcraft 2, there was a point where if you had your overlord right over the hatchery, you couldn't see the very edge of the creep. So if a certain player wasn't diligent, you could build a creep colony right on the edge of their creep without them seeing. I don't think that's the case here. As we can see from the vision of the players, we can actually see the creep. It looks like this drone is going to head in here. Maybe just a little bit too early. If he plants it down right now, I mean, there's no backup from these Lings. Looks like the Lings turn around when they realize where the base is. I really hope he keeps that drone alive. Please build a creep colony. Don't go home. Come on, just go all in, buddy. What's he doing? The Lings look like they're pulling up. I'm kind of confused here. Is he just waiting for... okay, alright, good. Waiting for a bunch of Lings. So we're going to have 6 Lings from Camo against... Oh my god, what is this? The 10 or so Lings from Xeno. The drone leaves. I wanted to see a proxy creep colony, come on. Anyway, back in the real game. Alright, is Camo Dez going to be able to make more Lings? He cancels the lair to afford doing that. He should pull the guys off gas too, right? Can these Lings and drones beat the Lings of Xeno? Xeno trying to surround the Lings of Camo as they spawn. And I think he has to do this or he'll get outnumbered. Doing a good job there, picking off 4 Lings of his opponent. Surrounding them over here. Drones not able to fight effectively. Are we going to see a 4-pull win? Oh my god. Xeno bringing in all of his Lings, killing the drones, winning with the 4-pull. What a god. Here we go, a 3-minute game, folks. We have NCX in the chat saying Camo needed to drop his sunk the minute he saw the Ling count, and that makes a lot of sense to me. Again, I'm just a small brain Protoss player. I don't know this matchup, but that sounds like a reasonable thing to me. Alright, we're getting into Game 2 on Shakura's Temple. Could it possibly be as fast? Is that even possible for a game to go as fast as that? Again, let's actually get into the game. I hit the wrong scene on my software here. Here we go. We're actually in the real game. In the bottom right, we have Camo Daz in the purple Zerg, the victim of the 4-pull. And in the top right, the yellow Zerg, remembering that it's possible to get up to 6 drones. It's very least. We could still see a 6-pull or a 7-pull, exploring unseen heights of drone numbers in this game. Now, what I was going to say before I pay attention to the game is that Xenocoop used to play a game called A Tooth and Tail, which I really enjoy. I think it's a really sick game. It's another RTS. He was like before my time in that game, but he was like one of the best players in that game. Like people talk about him winning tournaments and stuff. So you know, cool fact about Xeno. So it looks like Xeno is getting a 9-pull. We saw an extractor trick from Camo Daz, and if I'm remembering something from the depths of my memories that a extractor trick leads to a hatch on 10, which, you know, by the time I finish saying that, we have seen here. And this is not a macro build, or at least not like a economic rush kind of build. This is more of just get a ton of larvae for a lot of Lings. So this is a more standard ZVZ build matchup here. We have the gas with the speed and tech against just a bunch of Lings. And it kind of comes down to how much... How can I say this? Like, there's going to be a window of time where Xeno is going to have the advantage on the ground with that speed upgrade. But if Camo Daz can keep a lot of Lings alive and just have a swarm of speed Lings, it can be hard for Xeno to stay alive before he can get mutas up. Yeah, there are other RTS games, NCX. There's like at least 2. You know, I've heard rumors of other ones. In the meantime, Xeno being aggressive with his first 6 Lings, kind of getting lucky with where to spawn. And this is what I'm talking about. Camo Daz, he has not had time to take advantage of this hatchery, and I think, yeah, so his first Lings have just spawned. He's pulling a bunch of drones trying to defend this hatchery, trying to defend his only advantage in this game. So far, Xeno's done a great job not getting surrounded with any lings. He's killed 2 lings of his opponent and lost 0. Forced a bunch of a lost mining time. Strong carrying this dinosaur egg, trying to win the fight. Kamado starting to get better trades, managing to keep this hatchery alive long enough to get more lings. I think this present window for Xeno to be aggressive has stopped, but his speed upgrade is almost done, and the Spire is started, and Kamado is still on the back foot here. I don't think we'll see Camo try to be aggressive until his speed finishes, but by then I think the Spire is at least going to be like 3/4 done. I don't know, math. And Xeno could buy time by clogging his own ramp to keep those mutas up, and then I don't think Camo's going to have an answer for that unless he starts to build a bunch of spores, but that still feels really bad. Alright, looks like Xeno is starting to make an arc at the ramp. The ramps on this map are pretty big. I don't know if it's possible to have like a good arc here, maybe, but you know, it's gonna be a bit harder to defend in this position than it might be on a map like Fighting Spirit or Eclipse or something like that. And there's so many lings pouring out of the 2 hatcheries of Camo. Is he gonna be able to force his way up the ramp? Spire is almost done. Xeno has banked up enough gas to get 3 mutas ASAP, and I think Camo is not confident enough to force his way up the ramp. He doesn't have an Overlord here to give him vision to really get a good count. Let's see here. Oh, we have, yeah, even 4 mutas with that extra larva spawning. Looks like Camo knows the matchup well enough to know that, well, if you're sitting on 1 base, you probably are getting mutas, because what else are you doing in this matchup? So we have some creep colonies built already, but look at this. Before the mutas have even spawned, they've taken away 3 drones from Camo. Now they're going to help kill all these lings. It looks like all the lings of Xeno are going to go down, but there's so few left for Camo that these mutas are going to be able to clean them up. Not even a single drone goes down for Xeno. And now he's up 3 drones just by virtue of making mutas. They haven't killed a single drone yet. They will have to, you know, be careful, stay at home to defend, and that will buy Camo time to get spores up so he doesn't die. Looks like Xeno got a few more lings, just trying to body block on the ground. Maybe you need a creep colony here. I don't know. That would feel bad though. I guess he still lost his drone, so I mean, I guess it couldn't have been worse with that drone or creep colony, right? Are these mutas gonna, you know, are they going to be able to stack up enough, get a high enough number to close out the game? I'm not sure. We're gonna see more drones come out from Camo. You know, maybe they start mining that gas again, try to get the advantage of mutas in the very long term by getting 2 gases. That, or maybe just keep making links and flooding forever. So I feel like the muta count will get bigger and bigger as this goes on. Eventually mutas will clean up links more easily. Alright, no losses to links that time. Xeno down 1 drone for now, making 2, but also Camo's making 3 more, so we're starting to see players stabilize a bit more, know that they can't kill each other for a while, and they're going to try to develop. And the longer that this goes on, it'll be better for Camo with these 2 batteries. Mutas of Xeno trying to get some damage done. Able to pick off 1 drone there, which is always huge in this matchup. Oh, here we go. The gas is in peril. The glaives able to bounce, hit the pool, maybe hit a drone if it finds the wrong patch. I would like to see Xeno camp that. Maybe he's macroing back at home. There we go. Yeah, he's building a sunken colony and some links, and then he's gonna. Well, is he? I don't know. All right. I mean, like, he might losing damaging something. All right, you do have to kind of micro bit to keep the mutas from going in. There we go. Yeah, this drone is in danger. The glaives, so annoying from Mutas. Yeah, this is 4 creep colonies have been forced out. So this is, again, even if drones aren't straight being killed by Mutas, there's so much indirect damage being done. There you go, and the gas is going to get done. And, I mean, you can build spore colonies as long as you want, but if you never get your own Mutas, you're never actually going to be able to win the game. Eventually, Xeno will just make enough Mutas that the spore colonies won't matter. Looks like we have 3 Lings here waiting for the chance to pounce, but I don't think it's going to come with the second colony and a handful of Lings here. Alright. Oh no, these Lings, so much larva. So many potential drones being slaughtered. Looks like Xeno has managed to clear his own natural. If he can get his own second base up, I mean, Camo will have no advantage in this game at all. Like, he'll be behind on tech, behind on bases, behind on drones, behind on army. That will take a bit of extension for Xeno to do, but I think these Mutas killing Lings as they spawn, I think he can probably handle it. Yeah, we do have the natural hatchery coming up. A decent amount of Lings pre-made to defend. The Mutas are going to see these Lings cross the map. Now, are they going to try to harass the main? No, they are going to come defend this Muta wave, or this Ling wave. This is quite a few Lings here. I think it's like 16 or so. But we have about 12 Lings from Xeno and a good amount of Mutas. I think this hatchery... Wow, okay, so the hatchery, it gets canceled. The drone lives? Drone lives? That's where that Ling, like, sat there and didn't attack for a little bit. So the hatchery is going to get up. All of the Lings from both sides are no, never mind. There's a ton of Lings crossing the map for Xeno. Maybe with the Mutas is enough to end his opponent, but more and more Lings spawn from Camo. Looks like he'll drive these Lings away for now, but certainly Camo does not have the potential to kill that hatchery again. Like, Camo isn't even binding gas. Camo is struggling to stay alive. There's not even an extractor on the south side of the map. Camo overwhelming his opponent's Lings, but not enough to make up for the 9 Mutas. Okay, here we go with his glaives, with his micro. His hatchery is in trouble. Even with the occasional spore colony shot. The hatchery is below half health, and if this goes down, it's just gonna be game over for the purple Zerg, I think. Desperately trying to build one more spore colony, but I don't think it'll be up in time. This Mutas just commit here. Alright, here we go. The last chance for Camo, but it's not going to happen. There's a creep colony and Lings here waiting. Xeno, like I said, the Tooth and Tail veteran taking the series 2-0. Alright, Xeno in the chat, celebrating his first win of the season. Hell yeah, that's some relatable energy right there. And that's a win for SKT4. Alright, and with that very, very quick ZVZ series out of the way, let's get into the final series of the day. That rhymed unintentionally. It's going to be Dipwood versus Hoender? Hoender? I don't know, I'm gonna say Hoender, but feel free to correct me if you know what you're doing. Got some SKT4 pride in the chat. Good to see. All right, in the top middle, in the yellow Protoss, it's Dipwood, and in the bottom right, in the not peach. I don't know what color that is. Maybe that is the game calls peach. It's also Protoss. Howender. All right, PvP, everyone's favorite matchup. You know, the game of gentlemen. On this matchup, of course, this map is like the second best. Oh wait, what? Overlay. All right, there we go. Happens at least once a cast. It's not too bad this time. Anyway, like I was saying, the only map that I can remember where 2-gate zealots is more powerful is Medusa, but I never want to think about that map ever again. So this map is really good for 2-gate zealot. Are we going to see one of the players go for this game? I feel like if you are ever planning to go for 2-gate in a series, it'll be on this map. So we might learn things about these players by seeing what they go for. Alright, we have at least one gateway here. Interestingly placed to protect the mineral line. I don't know if this like hurts mining a bit when the corner of the gateway shows up. I don't know, but looks like, are we really going to see one gate from both players? I guess it's just about time. Are we going to see it? A second gateway. No, we see a gas from Wender. There we go. Missed it. There we go. We have the second gateway from Dipwood. And if you ever laddered as Protoss when this map was in the pool, you saw this just about every game. Snipe says, no matter how this goes, Protoss will win finally. Yes, that's how I feel. That's good. That's good. It's good to see that Snipe gets it. Alright, so Howender wisely gets that Zealot after his core, but still, you know, a decently safe. You skip that Zealot and your opponent's going 2-gate, you're going to have a bad time. It's still going to be a bit rough, still going to require some precise micro from Howender, even with that Zealot. And it looks like Howender has picked this of the, basically, of the two follow-ups to 2-gate. You can either get an early Nexus or get your gas on 21. And when you get 3 Zealots, get your gas to 21, get your core, and you kind of go to a more normal game. Oh my god, is this a banner pylon? Yeah, this is Howender's banner pylon, and I don't know if I like that idea against a player who's going 2-gate, because they're gonna have Zealots to kill it, right? I guess it's a bit different when you see this third, when you see this gas follow-up. Like, this banner pylon, it doesn't even block. It does force this probe to go the other way. I don't know. I guess someone will have to do the math on that and figure out if that's worth it. In the meantime, we have a probe, a goon, and a probe, a goon, and a Zealot at the front of Howender here. Oh, but the Zealot walks a bit forward, gets to the point where he can get hit by all 3 Zealots. But the 3 Zealots of Dipwood ignore it, kill that probe, and this is some good micro from a Dipwood. No, I can't fix colors. All right. The second gateway in response for Howender here. 1 Zealot sneaking into the mineral line, getting attacked by probes, but avoiding getting surrounded. There's so much going on. But a goon. Okay, so 1 goon goes down for the 2 Zealots of Dipwood. Somewhere, someone's fighting. Oh, here we go. Okay, this Zealot is still belongs to Dipwood. Got 2 probe kills. Might get some more. Howender struggling to reorganize his defense. His own SimCity maybe working a bit against him here. That this goon can't get in here, but the Zealot will get cleaned up eventually. Alright, in the meantime, what is Dipwood getting in response? He's managed to save that probe. He's up to 3 goons now against the 3 goons of Howender. Both players are even on probes. I feel like that must mean that Dipwood was slacking just a little bit, because you should, you know, if you kill some probes, you should be ahead, right? But it seems like the game has mostly evened out, except that the range of a Winder is done before that of a Dipwood. But I don't think we're going to see any window for goons to come in and attack. And now I think I have some breathing room to talk about this. I don't like getting a second gate in response to seeing TP. Now, obviously, if you just need that second gate to survive, then yeah, get it. But like that second gate wasn't up before the zealots of Dipwood made it into Howinder's base. So like that second gateway didn't help him defend there. It helps that it was a 3 zealot variant and not like the 5 zealot variant, but like maybe he would have got 1 zealot out of that, like 1 zealot or 1 goon out of that gateway. And if you really need that to survive, okay, then get it, right? But I feel like it's better to try to get an advantage in some other way rather than scramble to match your opponent. In the meantime, while I'm trying to philosophize, we have some goon on goon action here. Looks like Dipwood has fewer goons and he's being aggressive. It's kind of funny. There, he gets some reinforcements now. It's 6-5 with some bruised goons from a Winder. Is Dipwood gonna find the bruised ones? You know, it's something I try to do is like click on all these goons when I'm playing the game. Looks like the zealots from a Winder are forcing Dipwood to back up, and now Dipwood's backing up. It's backing up more units. I don't know what's going on. So both players are jockeying around here, and in the meantime, Winder has gotten Templar tech, and we have a fasting expansion instead for Dipwood. He did get the Robo. Is he going to get an Observer, or is he going to get Reavers first? Oh, he's getting a shuttle, and I don't even see a Reaver Den or the observatory, so are we just seeing a shuttle here? Probably going to see a shuttle or a Reaver, because you can start the shuttle and then start the Reaver Bay, and then you get the Reaver without missing any time on your Robo. But this could be really sad for Dipwood. You know, it's something that you just have to accept in this matchup is if you don't build detection, DTs have a chance of killing you. Now, is he going to see them? He might have seen the blur. It's possible, especially with this DT getting stuck. But I feel like you would have your goons run back, try to get something. I don't think he's seen it. I think he's, well, maybe he has now. But we don't. Okay, we do see these. No, the port is done, but the observatory is scrambling to get up, trying to block desperately. I'm pretty sure pylons are not tight for DTs, so this actually won't help you. I think. Maybe I'm about to learn something. Like, clogging the choke with goons is a good idea, but these pylons, yeah. Like, good idea. It just doesn't work. If there were vultures, it'd be great. Meantime, we have DTs all up in the mineral line. Tons of probes going down. Now, Dipwood has to kill the pylons he just made to try to save his main base. Now, okay, if we saw probes get in the shuttle to survive, that'd be sick. In the meantime, we're just seeing them run back and forth. Now the goons are trying to block the choke. There we go. The observer is up, but not before Winder has a 16 probe advantage, doubling his opponent, despite Dipwood getting the faster probe count. And now Winder is about to finish his own natural nexus. He has more DTs up. He's getting Zealot speed. I feel like I see Storm first, but Zealot speed is still good. Skipping Robo entirely, we don't see cannons even, so he's himself pretty sure that he's not going to deal with DTs, and you know, given that he just scouted his opponent's main with DTs, we're pretty sure of that. Dipwood getting the Reaver, and despite all the damage he's taken, there is a reason that basically every pro game in this matchup comes down to Goon Reaver versus Goon Reaver. That's because Goon Reaver is so strong. Like, almost irregardless of anything else that has happened in the matchup. Like, if you have Goons in a Reaver, in a shuttle, you have a chance. Like, the Scarabs can be that good. But it's really going to come down to that. You know, at the very least, he's going to have to kill a ton of probes with a juicy Scarab, because he's still behind on probes. Not the 16 that he was behind, only 10 now. But the longer this goes on, Holinder is going to get an advantage. We have a bunch of gateways here, right? We have 6 gateways for Holinder and only 2 plus a robo. So really, if Dipwood wants to go out, this is going to be his chance. Looks like he might do a double-pronged attack here. Distract at the front with the goons, drop in the main with the Reaver and some Zealots to make things even better. But we already have speed done for a Holinder, so I think he's going to crush this if they commit. It's really going to come down to this Reaver drop and not to be really, really juicy. Make up for it. Yeah, look at this. These goons, there's no way they can fight. There's like more Zealots than goons, and they have speed, and there's also goons of Holinder. Alright, here we go. Oh, but there were 2 goons very wisely placed there. Oh, and the SimCity keeping the Reaver out of the mineral line. Look at this. I only just now realized. Look at this, like, commitment to keeping Reavers out of his base. He gets the SimCity and the 2 goons here. In the meantime, he completely cleans up these goons in the middle of the map, and Holinder is looking in a very strong position, up like 30 supply here as that Reaver goes down. And it's going to be really hard for Dipwood to survive that. Now, before we get to that, Dipwood is still almost cut up on probe, so his probe production has been much more solid than his opponent. It's just if he hadn't lost those starting probes, he'd be in a much better position. In the meantime, Speed Zealot's getting all over the defense here. The Reaver unable to get that many Scarabs off without a shuttle, and I don't think there's any chance there's this many Speed Zealots. Alright, and the game ends. I'm going to be charitable, assume that, you know, they're on Ally Chat or something like that. That's PvP, folks. If you don't make detection, you die to DTs. So let's get into Game 2 on Shakura's Temple. Alright, in the bottom right, this time in the orange, winning last game with some murderous DTs and some very preemptive drop defense. It's Holinder. And in the bottom left, with this slightly off yellow, I think, a Protoss, it's a Dipwood. So, Shakura's Temple in this matchup. The natural is pretty deep, like the distance between the Nexus to the choke is a little bit bigger than some other maps, which can make defending with like a 1-gate robo expand build that much stronger. But one thing to note, I don't know if we'll see these players do this, because I might be like the only one that's obsessed with a 12 Nexus builds in this matchup, but 12 Nexus builds are pretty strong on this matchup because it's hard to proxy a robo very close to the opponent's natural, because that big area outside the natural is unbuildable. But that information is not likely to be helpful in this game because both players are doing something in their main. Now Dipwood is not scouting, and that could mean that we're going to see 2-gate again. Because sometimes I do that. I don't scout till the second gate, because what am I going to change? Like, I'm still doing 2-gate, right? And there we go. Looks like Dipwood has a similar thought process. So we are going to see 2-gate out of him again. Holinder did a decent job of defending it. Not flawless. I think he lost like a goon and a zealot and a probe, but while also killing the zealots of his opponent. So, you know, that's fine. And it is going to be a bit harder on this map. We do still have, well, we have the ramp, which makes it better for the defender, but it is a pretty wide ramp, like we saw in that ZVZ series. So that can be one thing that makes 2Gate pretty strong here. And Dipwood gets the first scout off, and Howender is going to get the last scout, which feels bad when your opponent is going for something as skewed as 2Gate. But you might assume it anyway, because like it's kind of like if once a player has done 2Gate, they're more likely to do it again. I feel like there's some players who just don't touch 2Gate, and there's some players who really, really love it. Oh, and the Zealot doing a really good job of forcing this probe away, which is kind of wild when you have these wide ramps. It does stay alive long enough to see the Zealots 2 and 3 come out. So Holander will know what is coming. Looks like once again he's opted for the safer but slower 2-gate response. I know like if you are like truly Gosu, you can hold it off with Goon Micro and like not take any damage at all. But that's hard. I can't do it reliably. Looks like he's going to try to hold the ramp with the Zealot and probes, but there's no way that this one Zealot, even with 2 probes and a Goon backup, can fight these 3 Zealots, right? Alright, getting a bit confused here. Needs to focus that wounded Zealot. You really need to keep your own Zealot alive and focus fire on the 2-gators Zealots, and this is one of the things that makes 2-gate hard to deal with. There's action all over the place. But these probes doing a decent job. Wow, and they killed the Zealot all by themselves. And Howender has held this off very well. I think he lost a probe in his Zealot. But once again, notice that this second gateway didn't contribute to his defense, right? Again, it's because we saw this tech follow-up to the 2-gate. I say tech, we're just getting a 3-gate. You know, rather than the 5 Zealot push. But this is why I don't like this 2-gate follow-up. But you still have the second gate. You can still do something with it. Let's see what Winter goes for in this game. In the meantime, Dipwood just going straight into 3-gate Goon. Again, is apparently willing to accept the fact that there could be DTs because he's not getting a detection. Instead, he's opting for this very fast Goon aggression. But I don't like him sitting out here with these 2 Goons without the high ground. I mean, he's going to get outnumbered because he saw that Howender already had 2 Goons when he was in there with the Zealots. Pulling a few probes, really desperate not to get wiped out before these this next wave of Goons pops out. There you go. He is safe for now. Don't go down there. Just wait a bit for your 3 gates to pay off. We have 5 Goons on the low ground versus 4 on the high ground. Bleh. But Dipwood getting the better of those missed chances. And now it's 5 versus 4 in the other way until these 2 reinforcements show up. What build is Winter going for? Looks like he's going for 2 gates with a late Robo. But this kind of 3-gate does have a good matchup for stat. So if Dipwood can just build up his gateway unit count a bit more, he should be able to force his way down this ramp. He's getting a Zealot to try and force the issue. Howender giving up the ground immediately. Now this contain is broken. We just have a higher Goon count from Dipwood, don't we? Yeah, we have 2 more Goons here. The reinforcements might spawn before that. But there is going to be a window of opportunity here for Dipwood. I don't know if he's going to be able to kill his opponent, now that his opponent has the defensive advantage and is even getting a battery. But there we go. He doesn't need to because he has gotten a Nexus. So he's gotten the correct read on his opponent here, I think. This probe. Why does that happen? Like, probes can fit between 2 gateways. Why do they do that? Like, I hate that. There's so many maps. I said this earlier tonight, but like, there's so many maps where like you just can't build any gateways in the space between your main mineral line and the ramp to the natural, which is like this area, or your probes get stuck. I hate it. Now I'm done ranting. Looks like we're gonna see this time. Okay, so this is Howender, who did not get a Robo last game. if I remember correctly. Getting a shuttle and then an observer and then the Reaver. Now, is he going to be able to break the natural of Dipwood? If he can't, Dipwood is going to be in a very good position. Why is he, I don't like that he's still getting Zealots. I guess he's getting a Citadel. Maybe he'll get speed. But I really feel like you should just pump out Goons here. Oh, you did. Well, the Reavers might be online. Yeah, I guess the Reaver might be like just spawning when the attack of a Winder gets over. But I honestly feel like he'd be better served just by getting a ton of Goons. I think that would be much more effective, because like slow Zealots in small numbers like this, they get mopped up by Goon Reaver. I feel like what Dipwood should have done is just gotten a ton of Goons and like tried to control the map, like take advantage of all these high ground ramps. You know, like contain your opponent here, and then when they push you, go up here, and they push you, go up here, and so on. Just pick off Goons and maybe the shut up you can. Meantime, it looks like there was a misrallied Goon. A huge loss. It looks like Winder is like just very slowly building up this push here, getting a second Reaver, getting a third gate even. So really committed to winning the game on this push. We'll have to see. It looks like that will give the Zealot speed time to finish. We saw this support bay finish, not a Reaver or a shuttle, so kind of, right? Am I missing it? I mean, we have an observer, I guess, but that's a significant amount of money to throw away on that. You know, like we could have seen just Goons and gateways. That would have been what we needed. We're certainly not going to have Storm by the time that second Reaver comes out. Okay, here we go. We do. Am I colorblind? Wait a minute. Oh, yeah, okay. So this is orange. Getting a Reaver. Oh man, the colors are hard. There we go. So, oh, there we go. Speed is done. So there is some potential for great damage here from this drop. But Dipwood, learning from what his opponent did in the last game, getting these Goons in his main. Oh, and catching this shuttle out here. Very nice. Denying Winder that chance to do damage. Alright, this army from Winder, this has to win in the game, or, you know, at the very least has to kill the natural and kill some probes, because otherwise this natural nexus from Winder is so late. But the supplies are even, and Dipwood is ahead on probes. Okay, now he's ahead on both. But those Reavers are worth way more than, you know, the 2 Goons or 2 Zealots that they take a supply of. With a ton of speed Zealots. Storm is 10 energy away. Speed Zealots kind of just getting cleaned up. Like I said, some decent shuttle micro here from Winder. Manages to drop the Reaver before they dies. And you can see just this army composition from Dipwood is not effective in these numbers, and we have the game end again. And Winder takes the series with the slow and steady wins the race build of his 3-gate Reaver push. And that is actually going to even up the score for this completely arbitrary subset of these two teams match in the preceding week. What have I done here? I've somehow deleted the scores entirely. Sick. Oh, I have somehow. Oh, here we go. All right. Thank you for struggling, or for sticking with me while I struggle through the basics of this streaming software. That is the last series for tonight. Thank you for watching. If you had a good time, don't forget there are the matches of the week, generally on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, cast by Sid Zero and Neblime, and occasionally some other people, yourself included, or yourself. included. Yours truly included. If you had a good time, don't forget to follow me. I'm trying to do this at least every Monday, so I got a couple followers during the stream. Thank you, the Pirate Bay, okay, and attend to that. And with all that out of the way, I'm going to look for some other StarCraft streamer to host. Let's see who else is streaming this game right now. I don't know. I guess there's Herbon. He's rated me a few times. I'll pay it back. Thanks for watching, everybody, and good night.